Everybody, welcome to your weekly forecast for Monday, October 25th through Sunday, October 31st. I'd like to thank my subscribers for supporting me and liking and sharing this video. And if you're new to my channel, if you do like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Also, check out my Ask Me a Question. It's in the description box below there. It's for people who don't really want their chart done. They just want to know like maybe one or two things. But there is also a link to my website if you would actually like to have your chart done. So you can get more information there at my website. Let me see what else. Besides Happy Halloween, check out my monthly forecast also. Okay, so there's really only three major aspects this week, and the first one is on Wednesday. We have Venus in Sagittarius squares Neptune in Pisces. And on Thursday, October 28th, we have Venus in Sagittarius sextiles Jupiter. Actually, did I say sextile? On October 27th, Wednesday, Venus in Sagittarius squares Neptune, okay, in Pisces. The next day, Venus in Sagittarius sextiles Jupiter in Aquarius, and on October 30th, Mars does move into Scorpio, and on this day, the Sun in Scorpio squares Saturn in Aquarius. So, and we don't have anything on Halloween. Oh well. Anyway, we'll get right to it here. Okay, so for Aries, on Wednesday, October 27th, Venus in Sagittarius in your 9th house squares Neptune transiting in your 12th house of Pisces. So this really isn't all that bad. It just like kind of, in your mind, okay, because Neptune's in your 12th house of like behind the scenes occurrences, even actions taken by you or someone else, but it's the house of solitude. Your subconscious mind and your dreams and secrets, confidences, things like that. Having Neptune here, you know, has probably made your dreams pretty vivid, really surreal, kind of even stranger than normal. This square from Venus from your 9th house of foreign anything, people from completely different backgrounds than yours, but it's foreigners, people from another country, foreign travel. I would have to say this is the house also of publishing and media. This is an internet house, big communication and travel house also. I would have to say that you're more than likely in touch with someone who either lives at a distance or is in another country. And I think that you are possibly daydreaming about what it would be like to, I guess, visit them or get together with them. Maybe you only know this person online. You could be having some kind of fantasy or whatever, you know, and if that's not the case, it doesn't necessarily have to be friendship or romance. It could be just wanting to experience something that is, I guess, like from another culture or something a little different, a little bit of adventure somewhere along the way. You know, you could have even just spend a day like reading a book about something like fairly different than what you're normally reading. I would have to say an adventure type book or exploration or something like that. But that's kind of like all this does is, if it is romantic though, you may feel that maybe, I don't know, not that you're inadequate, but you don't have enough in common with someone to base a relationship more than whatever it is you have currently. But that's not really true. That's just a feeling that you get, okay? Doesn't necessarily mean it's true. On October 28th, Thursday, Venus in Sagittarius in your 9th house sextiles Jupiter transiting in your 11th house of Aquarius. So your 11th house is your most sociable house. It is social media, but it's also seeing like your friends in person or attending some kind of event, or go to a place where you would normally go to hang out with your group of friends, things like that. you should have had at least one new person come into your group of friends, or just you. You should have made at least one new friend since last December, okay, when Jupiter moved into this area. So this just enhances that in a way that, again, ninth house being foreign people or people from a completely different culture than yours. This makes your experience with these kind of people, it enhances it in some way that you are actually seeing on this day what you have in common with these people and not what your differences are, more or less. In fact, you could like be making, it could be travel plans or some kind of plans for maybe this person coming into town to visit not just you but maybe their family, and making plans to like get together or something like that, or some kind of maybe you are even traveling or they are traveling to attend a reunion of some kind with you and your group of friends. Or it could be, again, like some kind of event or like a show, something pretty important, whatever. But this is a really nice transit, you know, and it's also like kind of fortunate though too. You know, you've got Jupiter, the planet of good fortune and luck, and Venus, just like attracting things that you really need. Venus, the fun-loving and luxury-loving planet. I don't know, I would have to say that maybe you're doing something really fun on this day that maybe you don't always do. Like with your friends. If not, even if you're just doing it by yourself. But it's something a little, not something you do every day. A little different. On October 30th, Saturday, the Sun in Scorpio in your 8th house squares Saturn transiting in your 11th house of Aquarius. So we have the Sun in your 8th house of other people's resources and money. It is a money house. It's money coming to you through means other than earning it. So it's passive money. It's things that you may possibly share with someone else, a partner. Shared debt though even, but shared bank accounts or property of some kind or other. The square to Saturn in your 11th house kind of means that even having Saturn here along with Jupiter, there was more than likely still someone either in your group of friends or some kind of organization that you belong to that was like either dead weight or just like a real drag. You know, they couldn't find, they're very pessimistic. They couldn't find anything good to say about anything or anyone even. And you're even wondering why they bother with you and your friends, right? Or why are they part of the organization that you might belong to. So this is one of those times where either you may need their cooperation or they may ask you to even borrow something or other. They may even ask you to possibly put in a good word for them or introduce them to someone or other that they would like to meet, you know, or could they go with you and your friends with some plans that you had and maybe they weren't included. All kinds of fun stuff here. But the thing is this person's just like a real damper on your social life, you know, and it could even be just an acquaintance, someone that you keep running into whenever you're out somewhere. So this is one of those times that maybe you do have plans to do something, but when you find possibly that this person invited themselves along, you may change your mind and just figure, yeah, I'll just save my money, you know, I'll just do this some other time when I can do it with the people I originally had plans with. Okay, for Taurus, on Wednesday, October 27th, Venus in Sagittarius in your 8th house squares Neptune transiting in your 11th house of Pisces. So Venus in your 8th house of money, other people's money and resources. This is the house of legacies and inheritances, settlements of any kind, money coming from an insurance settlement or legal settlement. It's an increase in credit possibly with your bank or credit card company. All kinds of fun stuff here, but it's basically a money and resources house. Okay, it's also the house of like like rebirth and regeneration, like doing a whole new you, you know. That will come along once the sun like moves into this area. But for now, just having Venus here means that it looks like people are either giving you things or loaning you things, but it looks like they're actually just giving you possibly something that you've always admired of theirs. You know, the square to Neptune in your 11th house, just having Neptune in your 11th house kind of means that you're not seeing your friends like clearly. You think they're a lot better than they actually are. I mean, as far as what's the word I'm looking for? Just like their whole outlook on, you know, they could be like real get-overs, let's put it that way. And they may not even feel all that close to you, though maybe you do like feel a lot closer to them. Okay, you feel that you could rely on these people if you were ever in a jam, but I don't think that's the case. But that whenever you're in a jam, that's when you'll find out that you can't. Okay, so just something to keep in mind right now. So it does look like maybe someone either wants to borrow something of yours, or possibly even wanting to borrow money, or trying to get you to invest in, I don't know, something that's coming up. The 11th house is your house of friends and acquaintances, but it's your most sociable house. It's the places you would go to hang out, like with your friends. It's even social media. So they may even do one of those where they're selling, like, you know, I don't know, raffle tickets or something like that, and they just assume you're going to buy, you know, or something like that. You know, they're trying to do something or other, but it costs money, and they want you to pay for something. Whatever. It doesn't look like it's a very big deal, but it's just something to keep in mind. Okay? On October 28th, Venus in Sagittarius in your 8th house sextiles Jupiter transiting in your 10th house of Aquarius. So this is a really nice sextile to your 10th house of career and your public persona, how you are viewed and spoken about publicly by about your personal and professional reputation, but it's your career. If you were, by this time, you know, Jupiter being here, it usually denotes a promotion of some kind. Okay, so if that hasn't happened yet, you still have up until December while this planet is still here. But right now, you could be on the receiving end of some kind of perk, even if it's like a per diem or an increase possibly in your benefits. Through work. You could even be like in touch with or be hanging out with, let's say, higher ups or your superiors or whatever, something like that. But you're being given possibly access to company funds or company car or something or other, but it's because of your position, you know, even your reputation. Even if you don't work, there's still something that it's being made available to you based on your reputation, your personal reputation. On October 30th, the Sun in Scorpio in your 7th house squares Saturn transiting in your 10th house of Aquarius. So you do have Jupiter and Saturn here transiting together, but the square from your 7th house of close relationships and partnerships just means that if you are in business with someone, they may be trying to put the brakes on whatever it is, plans that you have, move that you're going to make within the company. They may not, whatever, they may be opposed to it. You know, they're not, it's not something they would want to do. If this is a romantic partner, they could be trying to talk you out of doing something or other, or to go after like a position. But it could be something that you're not even interested in. They could be trying to push you into like doing something about your career or your public life even that you're not on board with. And it's I don't know, it's something that maybe you wouldn't normally do anyway. And the fact that somebody's trying to get you to do this very thing that they should know that you would never do, why are they trying to do that, right? Okay, because on the 30th, on this same day, Mars does move into Scorpio, and that is, Scorpio is your opposite sign. And I'll be covering Mars in Scorpio for November, monthly forecast. But, you know, if you watch my videos, you know that Mars is a very aggressive and pushy planet. And that's when people are going to start kind of pushing your buttons even, or being a bit more aggressive with you than they normally would. Okay? So for Gemini, on Wednesday, October 27th, Venus in Sagittarius in your 7th house squares Neptune transiting in your 10th house of Pisces. So having Venus in your 7th house of partnerships means that things are going pretty smoothly there right now, okay? The square to Neptune in your 10th house just kind of, 10th house is your career and your outer persona, your public life, your professional life, how you're known by reputation in both of these areas. But it's your career, you know, so you could have, you could be seeing yourself as this person as far as your relationships go, that you feel everyone knows you as a very giving person or an altruistic kind of person or something when it comes to your personal reputation, or even whatever it is that you do for a living, okay? So that's in your mind, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. That's the way you may feel about yourself, right? So someone could nicely, a close relationships or 7th house, so it could be a close friend even, could point out that you may be the only one that views yourself that way, that maybe it really isn't true, or they don't feel that it is true. Okay, on October 28th, Thursday, Venus in Sagittarius in your 7th house sextiles Jupiter, transiting in your 9th house of Aquarius. So your 9th house of long-distance travel and communications, having Jupiter here being the natural ruler of the 9th house. I've mentioned this many times, that this is like when you take the trip of a lifetime, okay, usually to a foreign country, or you do something that's very adventurous that you've always wanted to do, or you attend a school, or you learn something, even if it's just someone showing you how to do something, but it broadens your horizons or whatever in some way or other. Okay, so this very nice sextile though from Venus in your 7th house again of close relationships, I would have to say that maybe if it's romantic, just because Venus is here, right, in your 7th house, I'd have to say that maybe you are either traveling with your partner, or they're coming to visit you, or you're going to visit them. This could be like a long distance romance that's been going on here, or something or other, but it's something, you know, it could even just be like communications of some kind. But I think it's, to me, it looks like it's romantic. Okay, on October 30th, the Sun in Scorpio in your 6th house square Saturn, transiting in your 9th house of Aquarius. So 6th house is the workplace and the kind of work that you do and your work schedule. And 9th house is many things, like I've already just mentioned, but one of them is higher learning, okay, knowledge of some kind. You may be having a little bit of difference of opinion with someone that you work with. Could be a coworker, could be a boss or something or other, about how work should be done or how a certain job should be done. You feel possibly that you know a lot more than they do, or you know what you're talking about and they don't. So it's just kind of like one of those days where you try to convince people to at least try your way of doing something, because you feel it's much better than what everyone is doing. Okay. For Cancer, on Wednesday, October 27th, Venus in Sagittarius in your 6th house squares Neptune, transiting in your 9th house of Pisces. So your 6th house is the kind of work that you do, your co-workers, the workplace, your work schedule. It's also the house of health and service to others, and small pets. So, you know, just having Venus here, maybe you will get like a cat or a dog or something eventually when the sun and other planets move into this area. As far as your health goes, you might eat a little bit too much right now, being very attracted to sweets or stuff that isn't good for you. Just having Venus here, okay? Also, at work, you could be kicking back, kind of in a way, not really feeling like doing too much there right now, having this square to Neptune in your 9th house of foreign travel and foreign people from a different culture, media, publishing, legal matters, higher learning, communications, all kinds of stuff, long distance communications. You know, you could even be in charge of or take care of a certain client or something that you're in touch with a little bit more at this time, that they are in another city or something like that. I don't know, it just looks kind of like you're kicking back and you're working, but even if you're self-employed, you know, or even if you don't work at all, there's still something that you just don't really feel like putting your whole heart into it right now, just yet. You know, maybe you're waiting for more instructions or more information or even money, as far as that goes, if you are self-employed, before you even begin working on something, right? It would be nice to get at least half your money up front or something. On Thursday, October 28th, Venus in Sagittarius in your 6th house, sextiles Jupiter, transiting in your 8th house of Aquarius. So, one of your co-workers possibly, or even a boss or somebody, but somebody you work with, or even somebody that's in the building, same building as you, where you work, or even if you're like working from home. This could also be, this being the service to others house, okay? This is a time where you could make some kind of arrangement with someone where they do something for you, a favor of some kind, and you do something for them. So it's like a 50-50 thing. Either way, somebody, either that you work with or someone you have an arrangement with, is going to give you either something that you wanted, that possibly they have. Maybe it's something that you admired, or they have something pretty big, or it could be like a pretty, I don't know, even expensive kind of, let's say, appliance or equipment of some kind. They could actually give that to you at this time. Just actually give it to you, okay? Because maybe they're not even using it. You know, they'd rather have somebody or wearing it or whatever. But you could be gifted with something pretty nice right now. Could be money. That is the big money house, the 8th house. But again, it could also be anything other than money. But somebody, I would think, is going to give you something pretty nice. On October 30th, the sun in Scorpio in your 5th house squares Saturn, transiting in your 8th house of Aquarius. So the sun in your 5th house of fun and romance, okay? Creativity, gambling, speculation, okay? Children, any kind of sports or entertainment of any kind. So this is where your focus is going to be with the sun here and other planets. Mars is moving here on the 30th, so that energizes this whole area. And a square to Saturn in your 8th house of other people's money, or your money though too, but it's like a jointly held accounts possibly, okay? Maybe even somebody that you're seeing right now, if you are in a romance or whatever, you're feeling like you have to spend some money on them, or something that they want to do is going to cost you money, okay? And you have to figure out, do you want to spend that, or is it necessary? You know, do you actually have to go do this kind of expensive thing or whatever just for the sake of romance, or can't you have fun some other way or other? This could also be a time though too where you know, you could have created something, or this through speculation and gambling, possibly just money coming in, in some way or other. You know, it's not a big, you know, not like a very big win, not a large sum of money, but enough where you can kind of like flaunt it in someone's face, more or less, telling them that you knew this was going to happen, or you knew what you were doing, okay, when you took that risk or when you gambled. Okay, so like you weren't just doing it like frivolously. Okay. Okay, now for Leo. On Wednesday, October 27th, Venus in Sagittarius in your 5th house, excuse me, squares Neptune transiting in your 8th house of Pisces. So your 5th house is the house of fun and romance and creativity, speculation, gambling, any form of entertainment, your children or anyone's children, but also childish things like games of some kind. Just having Venus here, though, you know, I'd have to say, you know, I'd have to say there's romance going on here. It could be fun and creativity, whatever, okay? But this square to Neptune in your 8th house of shared resources, other people's money and resources, money coming to you through means other than earning it. Okay, and I've mentioned many times, excuse me, just having Neptune here means that you should always keep up on your accounts. Make sure you didn't have like any kind of identity theft, and that you think your balance is whatever on your bank accounts or your credit card statements. It's a good idea to just make sure that that's really what's there. Okay. Sometimes people couldn't pull like a fast one on you when Neptune is here. Other than that, though, it doesn't enhance your psychic ability, though, okay? I would have to say that having Venus in your 5th house, you might splurge a little bit on, let's say, a romantic partner or having a good time. Something like that. It's not like a very big deal, just because Venus isn't all that powerful. It'll just give you the inkling to do this, you know, want to have fun, want to spend money. You could treat someone to, you know, a night out or a dinner or something like that, or vice versa. You could be on the receiving end. Somebody could be taking you out to like a really a nice place, or just anything to have fun. You could even attend a party at this time. And but money is involved here in some way or other. It's spending it, or actually being on the receiving end of some kind of gift or whatever. Okay, could be a just because gift, but someone could do actually something very nice for you right now, just because. Okay. On October 28th, Thursday, Venus in Sagittarius in your 5th house sextiles Jupiter transiting in your 7th house of Aquarius. So this is a really nice aspect between Venus, the love planet, and that planet of beauty and art and whatever, to Jupiter, the planet of good fortune, okay, good luck. And you have this here in your 7th house of partnerships, okay, along with Saturn. But just having Jupiter here does open, like, you know, the way for new people to come into your life, to possibly become a partner, a romantic partner, could be a business partner, could be some new close friend. But I'd have to say we're dealing with romance here, because Venus in your 5th house of romance to the sextile of Jupiter in your 7th house of close relationships and partnerships. So if you haven't met anyone, you know, since like December, this would be like the perfect time to do just that. And maybe you would meet them again at a party, or doing something fun, even attending some form of entertainment. Okay, on October 30th, Saturday, the Sun in Scorpio in your 4th house squares Saturn transiting in your 7th house of Aquarius. So the Sun in your 4th house of your personal life, your home life, where you actually physically live and the property surrounding it. your family, anyone that you live with. Doesn't necessarily have to be family, could be a roommate or something like that. And this is also your past and your childhood. The square to your 7th house of close relationships, you know, having Saturn here along with Jupiter, kind of is like you're looking for like a partner. If it is a business partner, romantic partner, whatever. You also are looking for some kind of stability in that kind of partnership, right? So this is one of those times where you could be not really questioning it, but maybe discussing it with your family, or even your partner, whoever it is, that even if you're seeing someone right now, and it could just be a business partner though too, they may be discussing your family or your home life with you. You know, there could be like a little bit of a conflict there, maybe your family or anyone that you live with, maybe they don't like this person, or they think you could do better or something or other. Okay, so for Virgo, on Wednesday, October 27th, Venus in Sagittarius in your 4th house squares Neptune transiting in your 7th house of Pisces. So having Venus in your 4th house of your personal life, in your home life, excuse me, the people you live with could be your family. This is also your house of your family. But it could be a roommate. Having Venus here usually puts you in the mood to like decorate a little bit, or beautify something or other in your home, even if it's just hanging new curtains or something like that. The square to Neptune in your 7th house of close relationships and partnerships. Maybe you are, I don't know, fixing your place up because you're having someone over. Partnerships are business or romantic or a close friend. So something like that could be going on right now. It's not like a very big deal, you know, because it's just a square from Venus, but you could be thinking in your mind that your partner or this person, possibly a romantic person that you're involved with, may not like your home or something, or they would like things to be a certain way, or they admire whatever, things like that, you know. So you could be, I guess, sprucing your place up because of them, because they're be coming to your home, visiting you, whatever. On October 28th, Thursday, Venus again in Sagittarius in your 4th house sextiles Jupiter, transiting in your 6th house of Aquarius. So your 6th house is the kind of work that you do, the workplace and your co-workers, your work schedule. If you are actually physically working in the building, you know, maybe you aren't now, maybe you're going to be working from home. Maybe that's even like a permanent thing now. Even if you don't work at all, or you're retired or something or other, there's still something going on. Let's say like the 6th house is also the house of service to other people. But what it usually is you have some kind of an arrangement with someone where they need help and you also need help. So they do something for you and you do something for them. It could be a one-time thing or an ongoing thing. Like it's like a favor or something. So this could be like one of those times where you make that kind of arrangement with someone, you know. But on October 30th, okay, Saturday, the sun in Scorpio in your 3rd house squares Saturn in your 6th house of Aquarius. So this could be even your 3rd house is your siblings, your cousins, and your neighbors, okay? Big travel and communication house and whatever, but I would have to say that this is kind of leading up to, from that Thursday aspect to on this day, maybe having to be a bit more explicit in whatever it is you needed done as far as the favor goes, and whatever it is that person needed done, because maybe you got it wrong and you're not going to do something or other that they wanted you to do for them, okay? Even if this is a sibling, you know what I mean, or a cousin, but they could want you to do something and they you know, keep up their end of the bargain also, but whatever it is that they want you to do, you're uncomfortable with, okay? For Libra, on Wednesday, October 27th, Venus in Sagittarius in your 3rd house squares Neptune transiting in your 6th house of Pisces. So your 3rd house is your, more or less like your everyday life, okay? And so is your 6th house kind of, but it's like your 6th house is like your schedule though too, but 3rd house is the people that you would encounter throughout the normal course of your day, like your neighbors. It's also your house of siblings and cousins, big communication and travel house, mail, every kind of mail, regular postal mail, email, any kind of message, text message, voicemail, something like that. So having Venus here just means that you're enjoying your own area, wherever it is that you live, or when you are out doing something in your area, you're running into, let's say, people and having like a pleasant conversation, more or less, with them. The square to Neptune in your 6th house of actually the workplace, okay, the kind of work that you do, your co-workers, things like that. You know, it's also the house of health, though. This could be one of those times where, I don't know, you decide to have, let's say, like a checkup. You could have had, with Neptune transiting here, kind of makes any kind of diagnosis. If there is something wrong with you, it makes it kind of hazy, hard to see, figure it out, whatever. Usually it's an allergic reaction to something or other, but no one knows that, you know, until whatever, till very somewhere down the way there. Anyways, it looks like, though, you know, with this being the house of the workplace and the kind of work that you do and whatever, maybe there's something going on there at work where you're, I don't know, finding out something about your company, possibly moving from the area where they are, the neighborhood where they are, or, you know, and you're getting this like from the grapevine, okay, from the people in your neighborhood are telling you possibly things that, even about a coworker, maybe they know them for some reason or other, but it's not like a real big deal, but it could be like a little bit gossipy right now. The workplace could be a little bit gossipy, and it's a good idea to not really believe everything you hear, especially when Neptune is involved. Neptune governs illusion, okay? On Thursday, October 28th, Venus in Sagittarius in your 3rd house, sextiles Jupiter transiting in your 5th house of Aquarius. So we have the two fun planets, okay? Venus and Jupiter in your 5th house of fun, okay? Fun and romance, creativity, entertainment of any kind, sports, gambling, children, all kinds of neat stuff. But it is the house of romance, though. You know, having Jupiter here along with Saturn, though, should have opened up some area for you to meet like new people, or if you were already involved with someone, brings in like another, I don't know, dimension or whatever to your relationship. You know, it expands it in some way or other. Maybe you guys take up some kind of sport together, or even a dance class, or you know, something that brings you a little bit closer, but it's also fun. Okay, having Saturn here at the same time does, you know, before Jupiter came along, okay, if Saturn's here by itself, which it will be after December, it kind of, you look at your relationships as, you know, that you're glad that they're nice and stable and everything, and that you can really rely on this person, and but they're also very predictable, and your relationship is really predictable, and it's boring. You know, it's there's no like pizzazz or whatever to your romance. Okay, it could be the same thing as far as creativity goes, though, too. You could be working on something that you don't even enjoy working on anymore. You know, but at one time you did, and it's something creative, but now you're like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. So this is like one of those times, though, where you're able to change something in this area, okay, whether it's romance, creativity, anything, okay, without any real problems, you know. On the other hand, though, too, this could also be a time where you are just doing short distance travel, like a weekend or overnight or a day trip to someplace just to have fun, okay. On October 30th, Saturday, the sun in Scorpio in your second house squares Saturn transiting in your fifth house of Aquarius. So your second house is how you earn your money. It's earned income. And so this is where your focus is every time that, you know, this time of year when the sun is here. So you're into wanting to increase your income in some way or other. So the square to Saturn in your fifth house of fun and speculation and everything kind of means that maybe you're putting a hold on like doing some of these things, you know, and or investing in something, you know, to have fun. Maybe it's you want to save your money. Maybe you'll wait till you have a certain amount there before you do something that is fun, or put money into anything really. But it just kind of looks like someone's idea, and it could be a romantic partner, okay, who wants to do something but you don't want to spend the money. Or if it is a creative project, they want you to put more into it financially, and you're done, kind of. You know, you can't throw money after something that maybe you're not real happy with. You know, maybe you want to go solo. Maybe you don't want a collaboration anymore. Could be all kinds of things, but it's money and whether or not to spend it on having fun or speculation or anything like that. Okay, for Scorpio, on Wednesday, October 27th, Venus in Sagittarius in your second house squares Neptune transiting in your fifth house of Pisces. So having Venus in your second house of how you earn your money and earned income and investments and valuables that you own. And it's also your personal values, though, too. Having Venus here attracts all these really nice things to you, okay? Not have to say you would be on the receiving end at this time for a birthday gift, even if your birthday's next month, into November, you know, and not like now, but somebody could really gift you with something right now. Square to Neptune in your fifth house of romance and creativity, speculation and gambling, fun, parties, entertainment of any kind. I'm going to say that you're worth it. You feel like, yeah, I'm going to spend money. I'm going to do this or that. You know, I'm going to have fun. Okay? It could be you spending money, though, on, let's say, someone else. Okay, as far as romance goes, if it's someone that you're seeing, maybe spending a little bit too much money. But, you know, you're having fun. So I really don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think you're going to go overboard. On October 28th, Thursday, Venus in Sagittarius in your second house sextiles Jupiter transiting in your fourth house of Aquarius. So I think that this is the time where you are going to buy something, okay, for your home. Your fourth house is your home, your family. It's actually, though, where you physically live and the people you live with. It could even be like a roommate, or maybe you just live alone. But you are purchasing something for your home, or you could be gifted with something at this time for your home. And it could actually be even a family heirloom or something that you really enjoyed when you were a kid. You know, from your childhood, something like that. Maybe somebody could give you something like that right now. Or anything, actually. On Saturday, October 30th, the sun in Scorpio in your first house squares Saturn transiting in your fourth house of Aquarius. So we're back to your fourth house of home. You know, you have the sun in your first house, so you're just all lit up. You're the center of attention. So you're actually getting your way, okay? Having Saturn in your fourth house at the same time as Jupiter kind of evened out the possibility of, let's say, somebody that you're living with being a real pain in the ass or getting in the way, or something about your home that was just not working out. Okay, well, that's kind of like being revisited right now. Having Jupiter here, though, helps you make changes of some kind, and whether or not someone likes it, you know. So, but that's the way it's going to be, because, like I said, the sun is in your first house. Okay, so for Sagittarius, on Wednesday, October 27th, Venus in Sagittarius in your first house squares Neptune transiting in your fourth house of Pisces. So, you know, having Venus in your first house makes you very popular right now. You may be asked to quite a few things, to do whatever, even if it's just like for drinks or lunch, or go visit someone, come over their place and watch movies or something like that. And this could be one of those times, you know, square to Neptune in your fourth house of your home and your personal life, but it's where you physically live. You could be making some kind of changes there right now. I would have to say to beautify it in some way or other. Maybe you are even buying something for your home that you've wanted. That'll continue even once Venus moves into Capricorn, into your second house. So right now maybe you're looking for something or other, shopping online or doing something or other in regards to your home. But your home, your fourth house is your family also. And anyone that you live with, like a roommate or something like that. It's also your past and your childhood. But this is, you know, a square from Venus isn't like all that bad. You know, just kind of makes you want to like relax and enjoy whatever. So I would have to say that's what you're doing with your home. Okay. On October 28th, Thursday, Venus in Sagittarius in your first house, sixth house, Jupiter transiting in your third house of Aquarius. So this is very nice between these two planets. We've got Venus, the planet of, you know, love and beauty and whatever, and Jupiter, the planet of good fortune, and actually your ruling planet in your third house of your everyday life, along with Saturn. Saturn is also here right now, but this very nice aspect from your first house to your third with these two planets kind of means that maybe, like, your third house is your neighborhood, your neighbors, your siblings, your cousins. It's local travel. It's the places where you would normally go throughout the course of your day, or even businesses that you would patronize, you know. So you could be running into an awful lot of people. Now, it seems just because Venus being in your first house, kind of people are noticing you a little bit more than they normally do. So you could even get, like, the third house is the house of communications and travel. Okay, but this is the house of regular postal mail and email and voicemail, cell phone call, text messages, things like that. You could get something really neat in the mail, or you could hear from someone that you possibly, like, went to school with, or that is from another area, another neighborhood where you used to live. You know, this could all be in regards to your past, though, you know, because you had that other aspect, you know, the day before with a Venus square Neptune. So something about your past. This is also a big internet house. Okay, so if you are doing something on the internet right now, it's becoming very popular. Okay, so if you have a YouTube channel or a website maybe that you've actually put up and you're selling things, you know, it looks like it's getting a boost right now. Okay, on October 30th, the sun in Scorpio in your 12th house squares Saturn transiting in your third house of Aquarius. So the sun is in your 12th house, you know, before it moves into your first house, it's going to spend time, like a little bit of downtime. Usually when planets are here is when you like kick back and just not participate in a lot of things. You do things that you would normally do in solitude, you know, like read a book or work on some project or other that and it requires you to do. So that's kind of like what you're doing right now. 12th house is also the house of secrets and actions taken by you or someone else behind the scenes. Mars moves here on the same day. Mars is in Scorpio in your 12th house. I covered that. I might not have covered it until November because, yeah, I just moved it on the 30th. So Mars in your 12th house, no matter what sign it's in, sometimes brings about someone, this is actions taken by you or someone else behind the scenes or in secret. Okay, Mars is a physically active planet, so you could be making all kinds of plans. It's not that they're big secrets or anything, it's just that you're not ready to release them or unleash them on the world just yet. But you could also be making some kind of plans to ensure or shore up that, or make certain, you know, that something occurs the way you want it to. You know, you're doing things to protect yourself. However, you always have to remember, though, that a lot of times this brings about, but you more than likely already know this, that there is someone, usually in your group of friends, that is secretly envious of you and jealous of you, and they are gossiping about you or trying to turn people against you, something like that. So it's just something to be aware of. I'm sure you already know who this person could be, you know, so whatever. It's not like a very big deal, but it, you know, I do have to mention it. But this square to Saturn in your 3rd house just means, you know, maybe you are having maybe a little bit of secret communications, or you're in contact with someone secretly in regards to anything, you know, but having Saturn here in the 3rd house, a lot of times it does kind of cut off communications. Your voice is, sometimes people even like get laryngitis, you know, they're not able to speak, or their words aren't taken seriously or something or other, you know. But also at this time, though, you could write something pretty profound, you know, that will be like your legacy or something or other. Or you could present something, again, let's say like on the internet, that I don't know, really makes a lot of sense and makes people think. Okay. So for Capricorn, on Wednesday, October 27th, Venus in Sagittarius in your 12th house squares Neptune transiting in your 3rd house of Pisces. So Venus in your 12th house of secrets, okay, could mean that you have a secret admirer, or you are the secret admirer. Your 3rd house, where you have Pisces and Neptune transiting, is your house of everyday life. It's your neighborhood, your neighbors. It's the places where you would go throughout the normal course of the day. You know, you could at this time even run into somebody that maybe you always had a crush on. 3rd house is also like grade school, you know, so this could go back all the way to like school before college, you know, all the way up to like senior high and stuff like that. You could actually run into someone just throughout, like I said, the normal course of your day that you like always, you know, had a thing for, or something or other. But I'd have to say that a lot of times when planets are in your 12th house, it makes you a little bit of an investigator. Usually when the Sun and Mercury are here, that makes you big time investigator. But I'd have to say right now, maybe you're just inquiring about someone, you know, because the Sun is in your 11th house right now. Sun is in Scorpio, your 11th house of friends and acquaintances, and your most sociable house. So you could be really just trying to find out a little bit more about someone. Okay, on October 28th, Thursday, Venus in Sagittarius in your 12th house sextiles Jupiter, transiting in your 2nd house of Aquarius. So this is very nice, okay? You could be having talks, let's say, like behind the scenes with someone who is either, let's say, like a higher up or a colleague or someone that you respect, a mentor even. This is like dealing with your career or your job in some way or other, okay? That you are, you know, possibly paving the way for yourself to move into like a new position, but right now it's a little bit of a secret. You're letting whomever know that you're interested. It would bring in more money, definitely bring in more money with this sextile to Jupiter in your second house of income. Okay, so you could be talking some kind of deal right now that will enhance your ability to either bring in a new source of income or just a raise of some kind or whatever, or just even more work. You know, whatever. It's just, it benefits your income in some way. On October 30th, Saturday, the Sun in Scorpio in your 11th house squares Saturn transiting in your second house of Aquarius. So, like I said, 11th house is your friends and acquaintances, where you would normally go to hang out. Mars is also moving here on this day, and it's going to bring an awful lot of action in this area. You'll have a lot more contact with people, socializing. If you haven't gone out in person to socialize due to the pandemic, this may be a time where you actually feel like doing something like that. You may even attend like one thing or two. But if not, you're online, possibly on social media, and you're just having a lot more contact with people than you normally do. The square to Saturn in your second house is, again, this is money. You know, there could be something that you would like to do with your friends, or maybe there's an organization or group that you would like to belong to. Could even be possibly like some kind of upcoming trip that you would like to take with your friends, but it's going to cost you money, so you're not sure if you have it, if you will have it to spend, or if you can afford to do this thing. That's all, really. It's not like a very bad thing, you know. It's just when it comes to your friends and socializing, there's something going on with money. You're going to need money to, I guess, attend something. It could even be like a live show, go see a live band or something like that. Okay, for Aquarius, on Wednesday, October 27th, Venus in Sagittarius in your 11th house squares Neptune transiting in your second house of Pisces. So Venus in your 11th house of like social media and socializing period. This is your house of your friends and acquaintances, but it's where you would normally go to hang out. So if you haven't been out physically in public, this would be a time when you actually really feel like doing something like that. Getting together with your friends. However, the square to Neptune in your second house here, you know, the second house is income and money. You could be making plans with your friends, but nobody's really has too much, it's like tentative. No one has like definite plans or how everything's going to go down, and nobody's sure how much it's going to cost. That's the big thing here, is do you want to spend the money doing something fun with your friends, or going to some place like a club or a bar or wherever it is that you would normally go. I don't think it's going to break you, so I think you're probably going to spend the money. Okay, but you really don't want to, you know, but it's something to think about. On October 28th, Thursday, Venus in Sagittarius in your 11th house, sextiles Jupiter, transiting in your first house of Aquarius. So your personality is being enhanced by your friends or acquaintances, or your socializing. You're meeting like new and more interesting people, even if it's just online. And I would have to say that quite a few of them are from a different part of the world. You know, there's just sometimes Jupiter in your first house is supposed to bring expansion in some way or other, and it makes you want to try something you've always dreamed about doing, okay? Now, sometimes having Venus here in your 11th house of friends and acquaintances brings a person possibly into your life that does that very thing that you've always wanted to do. So this could be one of those times where someone new comes into your life, but it's for that reason. It's for a purpose. It's to help you do whatever it was that you've had your heart set on doing. Or at least, if you're not going to do it, at least you'll know someone that has done the very same thing, and they could tell you what to look out for and what to do and what not to do. Whatever, but I believe somebody's coming into your life that's going to be very good for you. On October 30th, Saturday, the sun in Scorpio in your 10th house square Saturn, transiting in your first house of Aquarius. So your 10th house is your career and your job, your profession. It's your most public house in your chart, so it's how people view and speak about you publicly, how you're known by reputation, professionally and personally. So right now, you know, you could have a lot more contact, let's say like with higher ups, if you work for a company. If you're self-employed clients, you may have a lot more contact with them right now, and they could be actually pretty prestigious clients, okay? If you don't work at all and you're retired, you're still in the public eye for some reason or other, but all of these things are like weighing on your mind, you know, your personality, where you have Saturn right now. You feel like you're being burdened possibly with these people or your job, or it's your position is like taking away from you. You know, you, not that your position is taken away from you, but it's taking away from your personality. You're unable to have fun because you have so much work dumped on you, or too much responsibility, or assuming that that responsibility is yours when it more than likely isn't. Okay, so that's just one of those days where you just kind of have to let people know that, you know, you have other things, that you have a life. You know, you don't live to work, right? And there's more than likely someone else that they could get to do whatever it is that, let's say, your company may be trying to get you to do. Or a client, like I said, something like that. Okay, for Pisces, on Wednesday, October 27th, Venus in Sagittarius in your 10th house squares Neptune, transiting in your first house of Pisces. So you have Venus in your 10th house, and it's almost like having Venus in your own sign or Venus in your first house, okay? Because your 10th house is your most public house, and when Venus is here, the public views you like someone, all the traits of Venus, you know, beauty, personality even, you know, just all kinds of wonderful things people are noticing about you. Maybe not necessarily speaking just yet, but they're noticing like attributes that you have, but it's usually physical, okay? So, you know, you are kind of like enhancing this, though, in a way. Just having Neptune in your first house, okay, that's your ruling planet, does well when it's in your sign. It's not just the way you physically look, though. You could be doing some kind of charitable work, or have in the past, or have the reputation for being very altruistic and charitable, you know, being part of, let's say, like a group or organization that champions causes of some kind or other. So that's what people may be associating with you right now, one of those causes, but they're also talking about how nice you look, though, too, okay? On October 28th, Thursday, Venus in Sagittarius in your 10th house sextiles Jupiter, transiting in your 12th house of Aquarius. So this could be a time, possibly, okay, if you do work, okay, for someone else, that maybe, you know, your boss or whomever could pull you aside and discuss some kind of, I don't know, possible new position for you that they're not going to offer to everyone. However, your boss could also do something like hit on you right now, too. You know, you just like never know. But having Jupiter in your 12th house of secrets, okay, and actions taken by you or someone else behind the scenes means that you're more than likely not going to tell anybody about it. You know, you might think it's like really weird. It may make you feel uncomfortable, put you in a weird position after that as far as your work goes. But I'm pretty sure that you could just laugh it off, kind of, in a way. You know, all kinds of weird stuff going on here. But remember, this is your most public house, so something could actually even occur in public. But it's a gesture of like friendliness or romantic or something. Somebody could even say something, let's say like in a social media post about you. And you could be like, what? You know, but secretly though, you're like... you're tickled by it, kind of. You know, it's makes you feel like you're more desirable or something. Okay. On Saturday, October 30th, the Sun in Scorpio in your 9th house squares Saturn, transiting in your 12th house of Aquarius. So all these planets being in are moving into Scorpio. Okay, Mars moves here on the very same day. Your 9th house is big communication and travel house, long distance for both, okay? The house of legal matters and higher education. It's your house of philosophy and religious beliefs, your philosophy on life and your opinions, even like your political views, stuff like that. So this could be one of those times, though, where you have some kind of conversation with someone in regards to anything, okay? You could actually have friends who live at a distance or actually live in another country or are from a completely different background than yours, meaning they could actually be from a different culture. And maybe there's something going on that neither one of you understand each other because of the cultural differences, or you just don't see eye to eye with someone at this time. You know, in conversation, your views are completely different than theirs. But this square to Saturn in your 12th house kind of means that you're going to keep that to yourself. You might think this person's like a real idiot and they don't really know what they're talking about. So, but you're being really nice about it, though, for now. For now, okay? So you're not really saying anything just yet. But like I said, Mars is moving here on the very same day, so it's going to be here for a while. So you could get into a lot of heated kind of discussions with this person in the future. So you might want to let them know that you do disagree with them. But it doesn't have to get all out of hand now, because if you don't speak up now, if the conversation continues in the future, they're going to think that you actually agree with them. And having Mars there, like, you know, like I was saying, it's going to make you not really blow up, but just really, you know, let it out. How you truly feel about something or other, okay? And why it's different than their feelings. So I hope everyone enjoyed their forecast for this week. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, okay? And like and share this video. Check out my monthly forecast and check out my Ask Me a Question. And in the description below, there's a link. And there's also a link to my website if you would like to have your personal chart done. So I will see you next week, and happy Halloween. Goodbye.